Live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 144. This is Joy News Prime with me, Emefa Apawu. Our top stories this hour: embattled Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta still at post in spite of latest calls from NPP MPs for him to be sacked.
We want to serve notice, and notice is hereby served, that until such persons as aforementioned are made to resign or removed from office, we, members of the majority caucus here in Parliament, will not participate in any business of government.
We have details as he sits in President Akufo-Addo's meeting with AGI, Association of Bankers Council of State, on ways to resuscitate the distressed Ghanaian economy.
So it's basically a familiarization program, and then also to hear from you what you think would be significant that you would want to hear about how we're going forward.
Meanwhile, NDC minority MPs filed a vote of censure seeking to remove Ken Ofori-Atta as finance minister.
That yesterday we gave, and majority leader also admitted that at the business committee we hinted them, and then we did file this vote of censure on behalf of the minority with a worrying: how do we make out the two-third?
Many thanks for your company once again. Remember, we are live on all our social media platforms as well. And we start off this bulletin with the minority in Parliament filing a motion of censure seeking the removal of Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. The minister has been under intense pressure for months following intense economic hardship, despite the president defending him. The minority now has a boost in their quest to surmount the constitutional hurdle of getting 183 MPs to back their motion after some 80 NPP MPs gave the president an ultimatum to sack the finance minister. Parliamentary correspondent Kweku Asante has more from the House.
The NDC MPs came in wearing black and red, as if in anticipation of what will be a historic day in the House. NPP MPs on the first day of the meeting drummed a bombshell. They wanted Ken Ofori-Atta out.
We have had occasions to defend allegations of conflict of interest, lack of confidence, trust against the leadership of our finance ministry. The recent developments within our economy are of great concern to the greater majority of members of our caucus and our constituents. We have made our grave concern to the president through the parliamentary leadership and the leadership of the party without any positive response. We are by this medium communicating our strong desire that the president change the Minister of Finance and the Minister of State in the Finance Ministry without further delay, in order to restore hope into the financial sector and reverse the downward trend in the growth of the economy.
The NPP MPs, numbering more than 80, say if the president refuses to act, none of his business will go through Parliament.
Meanwhile, we want to serve notice, and notice hereby served, that until such persons as aforementioned are made to resign or removed from office, we, members of the majority caucus here in Parliament, will not participate in any business of government by or for the president, by any other minister. We hope that those of us of the backbench and members of the majority caucus will abide by this prayer. We are saying that if our request is not responded to positively, we will not be present for the budget hearing, neither we will participate in the debate.
The move was unprecedented. No one would have seen it coming. The NPP majority MPs are now forcing the hands of President Akufo-Addo, a member of their own party, to sack Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. Indeed, over the past few months, they have been the most resolute in defending Ken Ofori-Atta and asking that the minority stay aside with their calls for a vote of censure. It appears now that the minority may just have the numbers if they decide to go ahead and press for the vote of censure that they've already filed to be debated and voted upon in the House. It will also be interesting to know what Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta will do himself, whether he will resign or he will wait for the president to sack him. But all this is coming on the back of very interesting economic times. The cedi has been tumbling, currently selling beyond 15 cedis. Ghana is currently seeking an IMF bailout. It is not clear whether government will get that before the November budget is read. The NDC MPs have already filed a motion of censure and have been outlining the reasons for this move.
The first one is the fact that we are seeing a despicable conflict of interest, ensuring that he directly benefits from Ghana's economic woes as his companies receive commissions and other unethical contractual advantage, particularly from the Ghana's debt overhang. The second ground has to do with an unconstitutional withdrawals from the consolidated fund in blatant contravention with Article 178 of the 1992 Constitution and the Petroleum Management Act, supposedly for the construction of the President Cathedral. The third point has to do with the illegal payment of oil revenues into offshore account in flagrant violation of Article 176 of the 19th Constitution. Number 6 has to do with the alarming incompetence and frightening ineptitude. In fact, if he had acted fast, we could have salvaged this economy. So frightening ineptitude resulting in the collapse of the Ghanaian economy and an excruciating cost of living crisis that we are seeing.
Meanwhile, Majority Leader Osei Chairman Sabonsu warns the House to tread cautiously.
The Minority Leader is giving an indication that they want to file a motion of censure on the Finance Minister. Colleagues of mine have also about done the same thing as has been communicated to me at the instance of their constituents. Speaker, my own personal thinking is whether or not this thing could be done midstream into the negotiations with the IMF. And again, midstream in the crafting of a budget. What would be the effect, the contagion effect of this in the negotiations, and also even its impact on the performance of the currency as we see now.
The next few days will certainly be interesting in Parliament. For Joy News, Kweku Asante, Parliament House, Accra.
A reaction from the party, we'll get to that shortly, but the minority also want Vice President Bawumia to step aside as head of the economic management team, Dr. Kaysa forcing his ranking member on the Finance Committee.
We need the majority to support us to do this. We need to assist the president to make sure this happens. But I believe that he did not do this alone. The vice president must be made to step aside as the chairman of the economic management team because he has failed woefully. Woefully. He does not qualify to call himself chairman of the economic management team. Unfortunately, Parliament do not have the right to censure him on that grounds. If not, we would have gone after him first. I think the governor has a role to play in this matter, and he should also pack his bag tomorrow morning. I'm saying that the finance minister obviously is the head of the management of the economy as long as the finance ministry is concerned. But he reports to the vice president. So the vice president has failed in his supervision. He has failed in the work that he has been mandated to do. So he has no business to sit in that office and call himself chairman of the economic management team. I call on you directly, Mr. Vice President, if you are listening to us, resign as the chairman of the economic management team now to save the Ghanaian cedi and the economy of Ghana. We need that. And then finally on this matter, Mr. President, you have a role to play. Ghanaians elected you as president. When it goes bad on your head. Please and please again, you have to take the blame for what is going on. You cannot run away from this matter.
Meanwhile, Vice Chairperson of the Finance Committee, Patrick Boama, says the sacking of everyone in cabinet will help the party win successive elections. He will support it, he says.
My understanding is that some issues have been laid before the president to address, failing which some majority members are asking for the removal of the finance minister. It was that and the Minister of State. I wasn't at the press briefing, so I'm asking for clarification. Yes, it's a good call that as a concerned majority, we want our government to succeed. So if, for example, Common Fund has not been released and is affecting the performance of MPs and MMDCs who are appointed by the president, then steps ought to be taken. We need to hear from our finance minister, we need to hear from the president on steps that are being taken. Because when it comes to the removal of a minister, the Constitution says you need 2/3 of members present and voting, and it's by secret ballot. From the way things are, you cannot guarantee it. You cannot. So I don't think it's in the interest of our side of government to remove our minister. But when push comes to shove, to save the party, the government that we are asking to break the eight, which I don't believe in, I believe in winning successive elections. We are not here to win 2 elections and say we are breaking the eight. No. I believe, you have to quote me well, I believe in winning successive elections. 8 is just too small. So whatever it takes for the government to put in place the right measures, if it requires removing all the cabinet ministers and setting up a new government, we will support it. If that is what will win us successive elections, we support it.
Well, the Deputy Majority Leader, Alexander Afenyomarkin, says they will not stop their MPs from venting their concerns.
What the minority and the majority would have to do is to work together to build consensus on the key issues to support government. To me, that is our main agenda, but not the usual MPP, NDC partisan attacks. Those ones will not help us. Regarding views expressed by the majority caucus on certain matters of national concern, I think that's the beauty of democracy. People having the opportunity to express their views. And where we have gotten to in our democracy, we should be happy that people don't keep what they have in mind within them, that they are being gagged. So we take all of that in good faith and continue to soldier on and work together for the betterment of our.
Well, in all this, we know that the embattled finance minister is sitting in a meeting with President Akufo-Addo, and we know that they are meeting the Ghana Association of Industries, bankers, amongst others. I'll tell you more about it. But as we speak, in the last few minutes, the New Patriotic Party, they've issued a statement signed by the chairman of the party regarding this particular development. And I'll take you through that statement, and it says the national executive body of the New Patriotic Party has taken notice of a press conference held on Tuesday, October 25, 2022, by some members of the majority caucus of Parliament, demanding, amongst others, the immediate resignation or dismissal of Ken Ofori-Atta, Minister for Finance, and Charles Edubuahin, Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, respectively. In view of the above development, the leadership of the party is currently engaged in government as well as the parliamentary group and urges all stakeholders to remain calm as it seeks an amicable resolution to that impasse. The leadership of the party hearing reiterates its commitment to, at all times, engage government on issues of utmost interest and concern to the party, government, and the citizenry. So that's the statement by the NPP, signed by the national chairman, Stephen Ayesu, in team. I'll take you to the Jubilee House now. We know that in spite of all the calls for Ken Ofori-Atta to be sacked or resign, he's currently sitting in that meeting being held by President Akufo-Addo to seek inputs from the Association of Ghana Industries and the Council of State on ways to resuscitate the distressed Ghanaian economy. The meeting will also afford the president the platform to disclose the outcome of the International Monetary Fund negotiations with government for a possible bailout and its impact on the economy of the country. Opening the session, the president said government is working hard to turn the economy around.
Wanted to do, and that is the reason why also the finance minister, the Bank of Ghana, governor, other senior officials of the government are here, is to indicate to you a little where we've got to in the negotiations we're having with the fund, what it portends for the future of economic policy in our country, and then hopefully to have the opportunity to get your particular buy-in, because we are talking and hopefully concluding soon important negotiations which are going to have, and you know as well as I do, an important impact on the way forward for the Ghanaian economy in the months and immediate years ahead. So it's basically a familiarization program, and then also to hear from you what you think would be significant that you would want to hear about how we're going forward.
Well, let's join my colleague, Presidential Affairs Correspondent Elton Brobe via Zoom. He's been monitoring that meeting at the Jubilee House. So, Elton, first off, let me find out from you if there's been a petition to the president about this particular call from the NPP MPs. Do we have Elton on Zoom? We'll check again. I don't know if we have Elton. Shortly will be joining us, because we are hearing also from the party that they engage in government on this. The president has been meeting the AGI. We know the Bankers Association was also scheduled to meet the transport unions on the increase in transport fares. A number of meetings scheduled at the presidency for this. We also know that after all, they will be meeting the NPP. That's the leadership of the party as well, following in that concern raised by the NPP. Let me go back on Zoom and join Elton Brobe once again. Elton, welcome once again. I was asking earlier whether there's been a formal petition by these NPP MPs to the president following their calls.
So, Emefa, as about an hour ago, there was no such petition before the president or the president's office. But we know that in the next hour, the leadership of parliament from the NPP side will call on President Akufo-Addo. In fact, they've been summoned to meet the president and the president's team. So the MPP leadership, they will be coming to the Jubilee House. They'll be led here by Osechi Besa, the majority leader, and then all MPP MPs who have been notified to be part of this meeting. And then there's going to be a meeting between government and parliament. And the key matter is a call by some MPP MPs that Ken Ofori-Atta must be sacked by the president, or the president risks having most of his program thrown out by parliament. So the president is going to listen to them at first. That's what I've been told, because there's no such petition before that. Maybe when they come here, they'll have a petition signed by, as we have been told, 80 or more MPs who are seriously in favor of the move to have Ken Ofori-Atta, move away from the government to allow a new person to take over the finance ministry and then chart a way forward. So
Oh dear, we'll try and reconnect to Elton Brobe, who is currently at the seat of government and running us through the meetings that is being held currently by the president. We know the Association of Ghana Industries are having their turn with the president, and then also the Bankers Association. Earlier, they met with the Bank of Ghana on issues about the depreciation cedi and what can be done to arrest it. Also, the party will be meeting the president, and we've also heard Elton just recount that NP NPP MPs in Parliament who have been invited will also be scheduled to meet the President over the concerns they raised earlier, obviously. But Elton is back with us. I can understand the network challenges, Elton, but let me find out from you, since you know that Finance Minister is at the Jubilee House, has he resigned?
No, he has not resigned. In fact, he is fully participating in all the meetings. Since the President got in with the AGI, he was there. He was introduced as a key resource person for the meeting. In fact, his job was to brief the members of the Association of Ghana Industries about government negotiation with the IMF and what is likely to come out of this meeting. So that is being Ken Ofori-Attah's role. And we know that that's what he's been doing all evening. He started with the AGI, he met with the Bankers Association, currently meeting with members of the Council of State, and then after he will meet with the transport unions, before that meeting with the leadership of Parliament. Now, if I can tell you for a fact, our economy is not in good standing. In fact, some members of the AGI I spoke to after the meeting told me that the President was actually emphatic that the facts should not be hidden from industry players. They should be aware of the state of our economy. That's the only way he will get their buy-in, their support as we move forward on this matter. So we know for sure that negotiations with the IMF are at a point where we need to fulfill the condition of presenting to the IMF our debt restructuring program. And the government is also asking the IMF for some debt forgiveness, where they are asking that there should be some debt cancellation. Because where we are now, if we don't get a debt cancellation, it will be difficult to move from step A to step B.
Okay.
The IMF is saying that show me proof that you will be able to restructure your debt such that it will not have an impact on your economy going forward. Okay. That is also another. So this condition must be met. This obstacle must be addressed before we can have the IMF approve our program, which we know that government has made it clear that it will incorporate it into the 2023 budget. So that's where we are with the IMF.
But before the media was driven out of this meeting, we know that the President addressed you. Did it ever come up, this issue about the calls from his MPs in Parliament asking him to sack Ken Ofori-Attah and Charles Dubois? Did he make mention of it at all?
No, he didn't say anything about it, interestingly. In fact, Ken Ofori-Attah himself was in his usual calm demeanor. I mean, nothing suggestive of him being under pressure, tense, because of what is going on. He was very calm. In fact, when the meeting started, he was among those at the front row. After the president's introduction, he moved to the second seat after the first row. It's actually why he did that. In fact, he actually gave his seat to the Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, and then sat behind Alan Chemantem on the second row. He was quiet throughout, at least at the time that we were in that meeting. But when we left, my information is that he led the briefing on government negotiation with the IMF and where we are now, the impact it will happen on the economy, how long will be our IMF program, the possibility of establishing a deal with the IMF before the presentation of the budget, how that will impact on your own finances, if you have any investments at the bank, because it is clear that the haircuts will come. But how bad that haircut will be, that is a question, or that's a condition, or that's a discussion that government will continue to have with the IMF to have this. So Ken Ofori-Attah was there throughout. In fact, he was there when the bankers came. He is still here, briefing members of the Council of State, and I'm sure he's going to be around when the GPRT people come here. Okay.
But just very briefly, Elton, before I let you off, though, that this current happenings, especially with what is happening in Parliament, is it sending any shockwaves to the seat of government? How are they reacting? I'm sure you've been finding out in the background what exactly is the talk in the corridors of power.
Well, there's huge uncertainty about the future of Ken Ofori-Attah, especially at this very moment. So whether the President will listen to the plea from the MPP MPs and then, respond to their concern. In fact, we've been told that this is actually the first time it's going public, but it's not the first time the President has been made aware of the position of the MPs. The only reason why they've gone public is that they were not getting the response that they require. So they decided to escalate to this matter, and that's how come they held a news conference to announce their position. Here at the Jubilee House, It's been a very busy day. In fact, even as I speak, the car park is full, the driveway is full. There's been a lot of meetings on me. The president himself, he came to this meeting with a jacket and a shirt without a tie. Very, very unusual of him. It tells you the volume or the weight of issues on his shoulders as he navigates this matter through. But tonight's meeting will be a make or break. And as to whether Ken Ofori-Atta will continue to be finance minister tomorrow, that will depend on how they are able to resolve this matter. If they resolve that Ken Ofori-Atta should stay, then the MPP MPs will have a battle to fight with their colleagues, minority MPs in Parliament.
Okay.
If they do a U-turn, that will also be another issue that the Ghanaians will look at them and say that, are these people real or are these people for business? That's a big hurdle they need to cross.
Okay. Thank you very much, Elton Brobe. That's our presidential affairs correspondent. He has his ears and eyes in the meeting there at the Jubilee House. We'll be monitoring events as and when we get them. We'll bring them to you. Also be watching out on myjoyonline.com for more on this. You are watching Joy News Prime. Has arrested 2 people in connection with alleged attempt to demolish a 4-bedroom house in Jolu. The 2 tried to flee from an angry mob who pelted them and set their car ablaze. Occupants of the house say the incident has left them traumatized and displaced. Michael Ashale visited the scene of the event and now reports.
A partially demolished home in Jolu. It houses 8 occupants, including 4 children. According to an occupant of the house, Salifu Abbas, a group of men stormed the house with a bulldozer with the intention to evict them.
Around 7 p.m., I was inside with my family, as you can see them over there. Even the small one, he was asleep. All of a sudden, we hear brum with the payloader, and then military men on it, and some land guards. So in fact, we were all shocked. We were in the, I don't know. They entered and started breaking the place. So I have to rush and go to the police station to report to them and call the police patrol to come in. So when the police patrol came in, we came and stopped them, and then they left.
Salifu says the latest attempt is the 3rd in 1 month.
Justice is not working. This is the 3rd time coming here. They came here 29th. They went to a property fraud unit to report me that I have trespassed and have threatened them. They invited me. I went. Whilst I was there writing my statement, they passed back that very day, came and broke the wall.
Not far from the house is a bent Toyota Land Cruiser with registration number GW2817. According to eyewitnesses, the occupants led the failed demolition exercise and were trying to flee from an angry mob. According to Salifu, the family passed the night in the open because the house was partially demolished.
We slept outside. We were sleeping outside here. Yes. That's the place that they slept last night. Yeah. We slept outside.
What are you going to do now?
Well, we'll take the matter to court.
Marian is a JHS student living with Salifu. She says she's traumatized by the incident.
It's very hard for me. I'm going through a lot. What I've seen have made me very scared.
Mariam, what?
Because our things are stuck in the room. And they broke the house on it.
Neighbors fear for their lives. They are calling on the police to take steps to protect the peace in the area.
There is at risk because they need to do something. They really have to do something. What happened yesterday night, we don't know. It's only by God, because the way the fire and everything The fire service even didn't come early. Everybody, the police, we don't know what they were doing. Honestly, even today when he came here, there is no police. There is nothing. So assuming they came here today, this morning, what are we going to do? So please, they really have to do something.
According to the police, 2 persons, Nana Owusu Banahene and James Queno, have been arrested for allegedly organizing thugs to demolish the house. Police says investigations have commenced into the disturbance. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
And the much-anticipated grand finale of the 2022 edition of the National Science and Maths Quiz is just hours away. We'll see Adisado College, Prempeh College, and the undisputed champions, Presec Legon. It looks more like a battle of the 3 regions. They will be slugging it out for the national trophy and the bragging rights. Speaking in an interview on Love FM, quiz mistress Professor Elsie Efa Kaufman anticipates an all-exciting grand finale happening at the Great Hall, KNUST. She reviews the contest would see the contestants solve more practical-based questions and urges the audience to educate themselves while they have fun.
What should we expect tomorrow in the finals?
Oh, finals are usually fun. Yes.
The students will disagree with you.
If you can get into the finals, trust me, you're already a winner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you should be thinking about how you can harness this opportunity to bigger and better things. Not that there's too much.
To the alumni, to the rest of the public, and the euphoria on social media is a big deal.
Yes. The thing is, sometimes we forget that this is an educational program.
Okay.
I want all of us to have the fun, sing and do all those things, but at the core of it, we are learning science.
Yes.
And so please try and see the education in it. I'm hoping that the audience will behave themselves so we have a smooth program. Yes, I also have a comment maybe for those who are in a position to do something about this.
Okay.
You see, the basic science that they are learning, that is the foundation for the technology, for the engineering, and for the things that change societies.
Yes.
Okay? And so we're in a very good place. Ghana is doing really well. If we can showcase these brains who know science, who know mathematics, we need to build in order to get them to use this for useful purpose.
Yes.
Okay? The thing is, the moment they are done, you'll see schools from outside Ghana, developed countries, they will be poaching them. Because we don't have, the Science and Math Quiz has done its part by identifying the talent.
Yeah.
But what plan do we have for them? We don't seem to have any plan. So the best opportunity that comes around, they are gone and they almost never come back. They are helping to develop other countries when we need to also develop.
What should we do?
So I think we need to start thinking clearly about our objectives. If I unearth these talents, what can we do to make them want to stay here to help us with the many problems that we have to solve?
Coordinator at Primetime Limited, Stephen Yankee, has been talking about the prizes up for grabs.
Take you through some of the prizes that we have at stake this year. The grand prize for the winning school will be a total package of 70,000 Ghana cedis. 30,000 will go to the school, 20,000 to contestants, and 20,000 to their teachers. The second prize is worth 50,000 cedis, 20,000 to the school, 15,000 to contestants, and 15 to their teachers as well. For the third prize is 35,000 cedis, 15,000 to the school, 10,000 to contestants, and 10,000 to their teachers. And you notice that with our prizes, when it comes to the cash prizes, we offer same amount to contestants and teachers, because we appreciate that even though it's the contestants who are on stage, who are, as it were, in the line of fire answering the questions, these teachers or coaches are the ones in the back room. They have trained them to get to this point. So we award them with the same cash prize that we are giving to contestants. Beyond this, we also have the Absa Bank Money Zone. So at the grand finale tomorrow, each point end will be worth 25 Ghana cedis.
I've been monitoring that.
Yes, so we are going to make quite a bit of money from Absa Bank. There's going to be the Goa Radio Bonanza. If a particular school sells 3 radios, they walk away with 3,200. If they sell all 4 radios, which is quite rare at the final, but it's possible, they would also work out with 4,000 Ghana cedis. Then in round 3, the problem of the day, if a school or all three schools get a perfect score of 10 out of 10, they would also walk away with 4,000 cedis from Prudential Life Insurance. Airtel Tigo is giving the winning school 10,000 Ghana cedis tomorrow. We have academic scholarships also. There is a $40,000 US scholarship from the Academic City University College. It covers tuition, accommodation, meals, everything. You don't pay anything at all. We already have contestants on that scholarship there. We have another scholarship worth $75,000 US at the Accra College of Medicine, which is Ghana's premier private medical training school. That is also going to be available to one of the students this year.
So will the trophy stay in the Ashanti region or back here to the Greater Accra region or to the coasts of the Central region? It remains to be seen. You need to catch all the action tomorrow right here on all our platforms. Now, Lionel Sefa Boachi Yadom was only in class 4 when he started dreaming of representing Prempeh College at the National Science and Maths Quiz. He was watching one of the contests with his mother on TV. A correct answer to one of the questions, even at that level, convinced him he would do well as a contestant. Many years later, he's now living his dream, carrying the hopes and aspirations of Prempeh College. His story mirrors that of other finalists who will also be on the stage for the grand finale of the 2022 National Science and Maths Quiz. Maxwell Agbagba has the rest of the story.
Spontaneous jubilation here at the Sarah Mensah Auditorium. Prempeh College has just qualified for the finals of the 2022 National Science and Maths Quiz. On stage smiling is one of the school's contestants, Sefa Boachi Yadom Lionel. His inspiration to be an NSMQ contestant started many years ago.
For me, the dream started in primary.
In primary?
Yes, please.
Tell me about it.
I think around class 4, we were watching the quiz with my mom, and then a settled riddle came. I think the answer was carbon dioxide. So after answering it, I felt, oh, I can do this, so I tried my best.
For one of Adesadel College's contestants, Pakwisi Abuaji, his interest to represent the school started after completing junior high school. That year, a discourse performance was not the best.
Started when I completed junior high school.
Okay.
After we've chosen our schools, then I saw Adesadel competing in the semi-final.
Okay.
But it didn't really go on for us. So I decided that if I get to attend Adesadel, I'll try my possible best to represent our school, the school.
Okay. What was that? So did the National Science and Maths Quiz influence your decision to choose Adesadel College for senior high school?
Partly, yes.
Partly?
Yes.
In a picture that has now gone viral, Presec Legon 2022 NSMQ contestants Alfred Kenintia and John Tinkran are arrowed and seen at the Great Hall of the KNUST, keenly following the 2021 final contest. Their school, Presec Legon, lost to Prempeh College. It is 2022. The two gentlemen will not be part of the audience this time, but rather on stage as they get the opportunity to pay back Prempeh College. For Alfred Keninsia, the dream to be an NSMQ contestant started from his first year at Presec Legon.
When we came to Presec, we heard of the Science and Maths Quiz.
Okay.
And from there on, we decided that we would try and put in our effort so that we can become like our seniors. And from then, we started working towards it. And look at how far God has brought us.
So for you, it started from senior high school?
Yes, but I saw the NSMQ before senior high school.
For John Tinkran, he was hopeful of representing Presec Legon as he watched his seniors in the 2021 finals at the Great Hall of the KNUST.
As at that time, I was optimistic that I'll join a team and represent the school so that the trophy will bring it to Presec.
Okay. Tell me, I'm sure you've heard the talk about equaling the number of times that you have won the trophy. We've been interacting with old students of Prempeh College, and they tell us that their dream this year, their objective this year, their target this year is to equal the number of times that you have won the trophy. They believe that that is all that Presec Legon stands for. You also want to extend your lead from 6 to 7. Is that going to happen on Wednesday?
By the grace of God, it's going to happen.
Yeah, as long as it's God's will, it's going to happen.
Okay. Prempeh College, what would it mean to be at par with Presec Legon? What kind of pride, what kind of joy does it bring to you as students of Prempeh College?
Winning this trophy, that's the sixth one, will make us happier. And also, since we will now equal Prempeh, equal Presec in terms of the count of number of trophies we won, no Presec student will be able to say to Prempeh that we are better than you in this way or that way. Yeah.
Which school will it be? Presec, Prempeh College, or Adisado College? Which school are you rooting for? Maybe you can interact with us with a hashtag NSMQ 2022 or NSMQ on Joy. And don't forget that our coverage of the grand finale starts at 6 a.m. on the dot right here on all our platforms. And we'll be heading to the various schools. We'll be live at Presec Legon right here in Accra. Also, we'll be live with Richard Kujonyako at Adisado College in the Central Region. We're live from Prempeh College, also in the Ashanti region. You don't want to miss all the action right here on Joy News, also on Joy Prime, by joyonline.com, all our social media platforms. Joy 99.7 FM is the National Science and Maths Quiz Grand Finale for 2022. Which school are you rooting for? Let's see your flags on social media. And morale is certainly high, and that's how we wrap up today's edition of Joy News Prime. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. On behalf of the entire team, many thanks for your company. I am Emefa Apawu. Beverly Broom comes up with Joy Prime. Ease business day.